Peace. This is Asa Don here at the Zion Gates Learning Center for another edition of Positive Energy, correcting all errors and educating at the same time. And do remember, I'm open to having all walks of life come through to add on as long as you have a sound and thorough build. Today, I'm here with Sister Sokoya, and we'll be building on the orishas right here, which are the forces of nature. Peace, Sokoya. How you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm good. You know what I mean? Glad to have you today. You know what I mean? This is something upcoming that I wanted to do because a lot of people is interested in the orishas. A lot of people don't know much about it, but when I carry the book, some people will pick up that, and a lot of people ask me about it as well as like the 7 African powers. So, you know, you got the 7 African power incense, and a lot of people don't know really what the 7 African powers is, that it relates and goes back to these 7 people right here. So, you know, I was looking forward to having you come through today so that you can explain to the people and explain to me as well what the orishas is about, what the orishas is about to you, and you can just take it from there.
Okay. Well, the first orisha that we always start with is the Legba, or Eshu. And Eshu is the guardian of the crossroads, or the guardian between the unseen and the seen. And it is a Legba that opens the gates or opens the road for mankind or humans to communicate with spirit. So in any like rituals or anything like that, the Legba is the one that is summoned first. Obatala is the father of all orishas, the oldest orisha. Obatala is the one that created or shaped mankind. He looks over the crippled, the handicapped, those types of things. Oh, I'm going to rewind and go back to a Legba and tell a few things. A Legba is colors red, black, and white. And this day of the week is Monday.
Okay.
This is the day that we would make offerings to a Legba, which usually consists of rum and rum. Sometimes, depending on which path or road, corn, like candy, depending on the path, sweets and things like that. Now, Batala, his color is white. Batala in nature would be like the clouds. The bones in your body, anything basically dealing with white. He likes white foods. That could be eggs or mashed potatoes, things like that.
Like I said, yam, coconut, rice.
Right.
I never did the connection to the white food like you just said. I see how all those things are white.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a batala. Depending on the tradition, it may go by different names. Like I see here in Haiti, it goes by Batala. Cuba, Yoruba, or Batala. And Brazil, I can't pronounce it, but
Oxala or something.
yeah. Yes, I think the X is silent. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's more like, I guess, like an S, a S sound. Ogun, which happens to be my personal favorite. Ogun is deity or the force of nature dealing with iron. He deals with justice, deals with war, that type of thing. And he cuts down any obstacles that's in our path that will keep us from getting to a certain destination or a certain point in our life. Ogun is one of the warriors that are given during a ceremony, a warrior, when you receive your warrior. As it says, it's colors of green and black, days of Wednesday to Thursday.
What does the colors actually symbolize?
Okay, there's like stories called Pataki, and it tells like, okay, as far as Ogun, he was like in the deep forest. You know, this is where he resides. So, um, the green, I guess, would represent the um, the forest.
Forest, yeah.
Yes, and the black. To be honest with you, I'm kind of unsure on that. I guess I have to say the metals or iron. Sweetie, I'm on camera. Should we go over there? Erica. Um. Yeah. So that pretty much kind of sums up Ogun. Ogun carries a machete, like I said, to cut down any obstacles, that type of thing. Oshun, she is a river deity, and she's the Orisha over love, prosperity, sex, beautiful things. She's the one, like certain things that represents Oshun is like the peacock, honey, perfume, mirrors, that type of thing. Yeah, her numbers is 5. Now, priestesses that are initiated to Oshun usually wear 5 brass bracelets to represent, or to show that, or they're symbolic to her, the initiation to her. Oya, which is another personal favorite, she's the warrior. She's Orisha of transition. In the story that I once read, it was saying that she was the one that takes away what we no longer need and replaces it with, things that we need. She's also the Orisha over the dead, our ancestors. Her places are found in libraries and graveyards. She's also the wife of Shango, so Oya and Shango work alongside. She's like tornadoes, winds. So you can see how they can relate because Shango is the deity over thunder and lightning. There's also there's a story stating that Shango was like the 4th king of Oyo or Yoruba land, and he became a deified Orisha.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And at the bottom here we have Yemaya, Yemanja, which the name comes from Yeye Omo Eja. So she's known as Yemaya Olokun. Olokun is the deepness, the vast, the darkness of the sea, the mysteries of the sea. And Yemaya is more like the top, the sea front. In another Pashaki, there was a story that says that Yemaya was once a river deity, but during the Middle Passage, or the Middle Passage, she left and went and followed behind her children to over here in the diaspora, to the west side. So then she became an ocean deity. She is the mother of all. She's nurturing. She would be the amniotic fluid in the womb, or the breast milk, the breast that nurtures the babies and things like that.
Okay, okay. So that's the 7 Orishas, the 7 African powers. Then other different cultures and sciences. Then you got the Yoruba. Then Spanish call it Santeria. In the south here, in the Western Hemisphere, North America, they call it Voodoo. The islands and other parts of the world, they call it voudon, which most people call voodoo.
Right.
A lot of times when we hear that word voodoo, it kind of spook people out.
Yeah.
And it scares them because they've been taught that voodoo is something, well, we've been taught that voodoo is something evil or wrong, or you're selling your soul to the devil. So, I mean, what message would you give to the people to show that this is not anything evil. This is actually like it said, an African tradition. This is what we was doing before so-called quote unquote religion came in.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Voodoo or voudon got its bad reputation, from what I've been told. It got its bad reputation during the, I guess it was like the rebellion in Haiti. And they actually, when the French tried to come in and conquer, but they ended up winning, and it was because they summoned the orishas, they summoned their gods, their ancestors, that helped them fought their battle. So it was the Europeans, and I mean, if you think about it, they had mind control over their slaves, so it was always told to us or to other people that was evil, and that, you know, you're selling your soul to the devil or whatever the case is. Um, let's look at Christianity, for example.
All right.
Well, you have some ministers out here with good intentions, you know, and then you got some with bad intentions, and they will use the name of Jesus to get what they want. So to me, regardless of what tradition or what religion you practice, it's all about what's in your heart and your intent. Um, Voodoo to me is not anything negative. It's nature based, and it's dealing with the forces of nature. And everything that's in nature is within us. So what's wrong with that? What's bad about that?
No
I don't
doubt.
see anything wrong. So that would be my message to people, you know, and then do your research.
Speaking on research, well, now, all right. Well, speaking on research, I was going to say that in my research, I found out when it comes to so-called hoodoo, or what most people call roots or whatever in the South and North America, that the slave, well, I guess after slavery, so that we don't tap back into our African traditional thought of going back to the ancestors. That's where this mind concept came in, that we was doing something negative because they wanted to control the blacks in the South, so that it won't be an uprising like what you said in Haiti and many other parts of the islands and other parts of the world. And so anyway, that's what I came through in my research. So what would you say about that?
Um, yes, again, for one, I'm in total agreement with you. That is how they use to try to gain control. But when I think about voodoo, now whether we know it or whether we acknowledge it or not, we even practice it in Christian traditions.
I was about to get to that.
Yeah.
Get.
So, I grew up in Holiness Church, where they call, when you feel so good you catch the quote unquote Holy Ghost. That's basically you getting mounted. You know, you getting that mounted with a force of nature, and you, just it feels good. You know. There's a lot of traditions and things that have been kept alive. Anointing of the head. We put a cross on our head. Well, the cross again can be looked at like Jesus. Basically, like Eshu, they both have the same function. It's the liaison between heaven and earth. So the tradition is still alive. Of course, we feared for our lives, and when you know, our ancestors were slaves, so a lot of things were hidden. Just like in Santeria, they hid the deities in the.
That's all I was getting ready to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they hid their deities in the saints. Well, they had Catholics. And I mean, as you can see, like, we didn't really have things that we could hide ourselves in, but we still kept the tradition. And then, I guess, being generation to generation, some things got lost, but some things are still existing. Sometimes we're doing things, but we don't know exactly what we're doing.
According to the information that I came across, like what you were just saying about the saints, what the slaves was doing, because they wasn't free and at liberty to practice what they were normally tradition to when they came, when they were captured and brought here. They had to do the P Diddy, they had to do the remix to it. So since the slave masters was pretty much Catholics and stuff like that, and the saints was who they was worshiping and giving homage to, our people saw a way to disguise the different orishas into the saints, so that the slave masters won't know what they out there doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes, like, I think about this going to get baptized. I mean, that was Oshun right there. I guess like being reborn, or the sweet waters. But yeah, a lot of times, a lot of things were hidden. But again, these are forces of nature. So I guess sometimes our ancestors would go out into nature and revere their deities or their gods and things of that nature.
Okay. Then what I was going to say earlier, but I didn't want to cut you off, was that it's ironic how, like you were saying, Christianity, they don't want to deal with, we're going to just say hoodoo, voodoo, roots, Santeria, Yoruba, whatever. It's all the same. Pretty much it's different sciences, different ways to get to it, but it's all going down the same path. Even the Kemetic science is leading into the same direction when you're dealing with the deities. But the ironic thing to me is that within Christianity, they're dealing with ancestral worship because they're worshiping a so-called Jesus.
Right.
And that's a person that was supposed to have died 2,000 years ago, but they pray into it, the same dead person. But now if you pray to, well, not pray, but if you worship a ancestor that's 2,000 years old, 1,000 years old, they talk about you selling your soul to the devil. You doing something evil. But they doing the same thing but don't even know it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they dealing with Jesus, which is if he existed, he's an ancestor.
Exactly.
So they're doing the same exact thing but don't even know it.
Right, exactly. And I think it's a shame, but I see as time as time moves forward and pushes forward, there are a few chosen that actually gets it. Like, I think personally, I'm the one in my family that just gets it, and I think it's up to those who are awakened to spread the message to the other ones. I mean, and then there's ways to do it, different ways of doing it. It's funny how they, worshiping or paying homage to Jesus, who is an ancestor. And then if you think about it, not just Christianity, but in I guess any society, you have memorials and things of that. Like, you can go around, I mean, just about every city has a Martin Luther King Boulevard, and then they have
statue.
Of Martin Luther King Boulevard. So this is the way I explain it to my family. I'm like, well, if they can have a whole center or a park or a street or a statue dedicated to this great man, then why can't I erect a shrine in my house? Were not our people, weren't they great? Weren't they good people? Did they not get us to this point? And then sometimes it provoking a thing. And then, you still got those who are set in their ways. But
one thing I always thought about, and this is a question that I like to ask a lot of people that deals with these type of sciences. If our people, I'm talking about the slaves, when I say our people, we was going through so much hell and persecution as slaves and was trying to find a way to get out of that situation, if we was dealing with this and had this thing mastered and was dealing with the ancestral realm, how come we couldn't get ourselves out of slavery? How come we were still in slavery? We couldn't get the slave master off of us and all these different things.
Well, my the way I see it is we eventually did rise up out of it, and everything has a certain time and everything. And then some of us were brainwashed, and some of us, yeah, they were. I guess mine was just taking over. But I say if you take time out of it, if you don't look at things on a time scale, you know, we are out of slavery. Well, some of us are still enslaved, but I guess everybody's time or season is different. So, I mean, that's what I have to say to that. But then, on the contrary, look at the Haitian people. They rose out of it. Brazilian people. Well, I think that was a little bit later in time. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think the Haitians, they like a little over 200 years, probably 202 since they got their independence. So, but then even when you look at the Haitian condition, I mean, they in the most atrocious financial condition over there.
Right. Right. Well, I guess depending on what perspective or according to whose scale, you know what I'm saying? Those people, you know, from the footage I've seen, I've never been to Haiti, but for me, they seem to be a strong people, and they overcame that. They still making a way. There's some that survived and some that didn't, but they're warriors in my eyes. I don't know. I just wish them well. I truly do.
As far as I know, a lot of people would have a question because a lot of people is show and prove people where they want to know. They can't fathom the thought of something that's unseen to be true to them if it can't be explained if it's untrue. So since you're dealing with ancestral forces and things like that, how would you be able to explain to somebody if you was talking to them that only can identify with that they can prove through tangible things, and what you're talking about is not tangible? How would you explain that to a person to get them to understand that these things are actually real?
Okay. Well, first of all, if a person got a mental block up, I mean, I don't know, until they accept it or want to see it for themselves, then there's no getting through. And personally, I don't waste my time trying to force it on them or try to make them believe. But what I would suggest people to do is to pay attention to their dreams. Write their dreams down and watch them manifest. And, you know, go back a couple of days or a month or years later and read your dreams and see that they not manifest. You got to have an open mind, first of all. If your mind is closed and you're saying, oh, I don't believe in that, you don't even give yourself a chance to think that all things are possible, then it's no convincing. Pay attention to nature. If you really want to find God, want to find the spiritual realm, to find yourself, spend time in nature. Get away from the television, get away from the internet and the media, and get back to yourself. Get in your mind. And that's where you will know. That's where you will see the unseen, or, you know, the spirit or the spookism, as some people would like to label it. It's there. It's there. And then not only that, I had someone tell me before that they try to quote a Bible verse to me because I venerate and honor my ancestors, and it says something like, the living has no like connection or something to that nature with the dead or whatever. Well, for those people who believe that kind of thinking, I would say DNA. DNA. Everything is in our DNA. I mean, I know personally in my family, I have great aunts or older generations that some of us look just like them, or we may have certain mannerisms. So we are the vessels for our ancestors, you know, and they do live through us, through our DNA.
True.
And I do want to recommend a book. If,
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. I know you said that you had a couple of things you have brung to show me.
Well, this book here is called The Core of Fire, and it's written by Her Excellence Aina Iyalashe Aina Olomo, and this book basically deals with core belief systems, and and where your core belief system is that's like where your belief, your thoughts and stuff like manifest, or what you believe things to be. But this book touches things like perceptions, core belief battles, nature, power, rituals, dreaming, a call to the ancestors, Orisha, the infinite mysteries, and all kinds of stuff.
True.
This,
Okay.
yes.
Not good.
Oh, okay. This book can be purchased on Amazon.com, and maybe in some Britannica, depending on where you're at. But it's a wonderful book, and John Mason is also a wonderful author. And yeah, these are things that I would suggest. Do your research if you really want to know or want to know more about the here and after, the beyond, the unseen. Do your research and then seek out someone who has that experience in dealing with that.
I'm gonna definitely add that book into the collection at the Zion Gates Reggae Gift Shop.
Thank you.
Because we definitely carry a large range of books and different topics. That's why I said that I'm open to having different walks of life come through in this series and speak. Somebody out there might see the information influential to them, some might not, depending on what it is. I got different people that come through, Rastas, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Nation of Gods and Earths, people that follow the Kemetic traditions, Yoruba traditions. So, I mean, I'm open to having everybody come through. I'm not just set to one group of people. It's up to the receiver of the information to take it how they want to take it.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? I know what I deal with, but I'm still universal.
I say.
You know, my foundation is Nation of Gods and Earth.
Right.
But I'm universal. I deal with everything because since I am the original man, all things is of me. So, I mean, everything is just an add-on or a plus degree to me.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I just deal with it like that. But yeah, we're definitely gonna add that book in.
Thank you.
And you have some more things you wanted to talk about too, right? Or explain or show like some of your neckwear or some stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'd be happy to do that. In the Yoruba tradition, we will have these things called ilekes, and ilekes is basically it's like a connection to your godparents or your spiritual parents or your ile or your houses, orishas, and this is a legba. This represents a legba, and this is Orumila, or Ifa, Obatala, Oshun, Yemanja, and Shango.
Okay, so not to cut you, sorry for cutting your wisdom, but I was just noticing that all of the necklaces is one of the orishas. I never really paid attention to that when I see people wear the necklaces, but now I'm looking at the colors when you're calling them out, so now I see what's going on.
Yes, yes. So they all have different colors, and when our ancestors came over during the diaspora, I guess some things kind of switched up on how they did it in Nigeria or whatever. Maybe in Nigeria you may have received one eleke at a time, but I guess because of the condition that we were in, they gave out the basic 5, which again were Elekba, Batala, Oshun, Yemaya, and Shango. and so that would be our protection. Um, there's also, this is what they call an E-Day, and maybe not everybody will receive an E-Day. It just depends on the reading that you will get. But yeah, reading is what decides what is needed. So, so yeah, it just depends on what the individual needs.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. Glad to have you come through today. I mean, that was a brief discussion on or introduction as far as the orishas is concerned. Anybody that might have had a question to the orishas, the seven African powers, what they about, at least you gave them a brief introduction. They could go on and do their further research. We can get all information off the internet. Most of the time, we just need a direction or some kind of starting point, then we could just take it from there. So, I mean, at least we touched on that, you know what I mean? So I'm glad to have you come through. Anything else you want to add, you could add. I ain't trying to cut you, I mean, you know.
Okay. I'll just add one more thing. If you would like to know more information about the Yoruba tradition here in America, there is a African village in Sheldon, South Carolina. One of the only African village in North America, Oyotunji Village, and you can find them on the internet at www.oyotunjiafricanvillage.org.
No doubt. Well, this was another edition, and in closing, I want to give thanks to Sister Sokoya for passing through and passing on that great jewel, and I hope somebody somewhere found this information to be priceless. Peace.
Thanks.